I was a really anxious person, like really anxious. And I think taking mushrooms, it lifted a lot of that for me, or at the very least, I could remember how to get back there. And it honestly cured a lot of my anxiety and depression. So
that's amazing.
Yeah, that's amazing.
I can see it. Like, it actually just became legalized in Oregon as a treatment for depression. And I signed the thing for it and everything. Yeah. So it's coming, but yeah. So it's just like, you know, when we abuse alcohol, it's because we want to be the happy, fun, outgoing person. When we abuse psychedelics, it's because we want to be love conscious. And all of these things are 100% possible for us. They don't come as we have to work through them. We have to do the the deprogramming and the deconditioning and everything, but they're all possible. And so the way that I feel about myself at this point is that
totally, you want to be altered.
Pretty much any of those things. And caffeine, it's like we want to be energetic. Anytime I see myself kind of gravitating toward one of those things, I think, there's probably something that I could work on inside of myself to get myself a bit closer to that.
These are practical conversations about real-life experiences with human design woven throughout, just like a tapestry of our human experience, but threaded in a new language. Featuring projector AC Brown, generator Rachel Lieberman, manifesting generator Jasmine Kenna, and me, your manifester, Vanessa Henry. In this conversation, we explore the taboos associated with some psychedelics, and each share our personal experiences with substances that alter our energy. From cannabis to magic mushrooms to coffee, we explore our sensitivities, preferences, opinions, misconceptions, and choices. We discuss the cultural connection to plant material and spiritual experiences, and the systemic racism around those who are incarcerated for their association with things like cannabis. We also explore the connection between psychedelics and meditation, and humanity's extreme relationship with things that can bring us up and down. You, me,
we're in this together.
Let's listen to each other.
You're listening to Each Other, a human design-centered podcast featuring an ensemble of energy types.
Jasmine, what's your opinion on psychedelics in the spiritual world?
I love them. That's my opinion. I think that psychedelics are transformative. I think that they can be very helpful and that they can support you in a lot of different ways. I also think people can lean on them, like can lean heavily on them in terms of like I think it's easy, like if you're doing like big journeys or a lot of journeys, like ayahuasca or DMT or even big mushroom journeys, to be like, oh, I'm going to do another one next week, or and you need to like really do your integration and like really have the whole thing be like an experience. But side note, I also think that some things are just fun to party with too. Like, I don't think you always have to be taking plant medicine as medicine. I mean, sometimes the medicine is just like a really fun party.
Mm-hmm. Hey, in the alien episode, you're like, or did all these like creatures just have magic mushrooms?
Maybe they did. Yeah, maybe they did.
I definitely participate in cannabis. I've tried mushrooms. I have had alcohol, but I even talk about like coffee as something that is like alters my energy or alters my state, I guess we could say. And I am very sensitive to that. Like, I can't have coffee, and yet that's just super accepted societally. And yet I have no problem having cannabis, and that's just newly being accepted. You know what I mean? There's weird opinions about this, like strong opinions, I think rooted in fear. But in my experience, I came from like a mom who was really like afraid of that. That's bad. Oh, and like no alcohol in our house. And my sister's hiding booze in like the basement ceiling and like, you know what I mean? Like kids.
Yeah. Typical stuff. Yeah.
But I was afraid of it. I took on my mom's fears and I didn't participate. Like, I didn't have any alcohol till I was in my 20s. I only tried marijuana when I was, I think, 26, 25, maybe. Like, so it was all very delayed for me. And that actually was an okay experience, because then I was like consciously like, okay, I'll try. But when I was on magic mushrooms, I was expecting to hallucinate and based on what was like presented to me. And that was not it at all. It was one of the most spiritual experiences I've ever had. I was completely transformed by it. And I remember the next day being like, why is that? Why was my whole life lived that was like evil? When that has transformed me and opened up my consciousness to see things in new ways, and I have incredible peace. I understand that there could be people who get very addicted to this, and it can get, as with anything.
No, you may not ever get addicted to mushrooms.
You may never.
They're not addicted.
Well, yeah, sorry, that specifically. But I more so mean like the idea of it, something that can alter your consciousness, I guess.
Yeah. What are your thoughts, ladies?
I mean, gosh, I have a lot of thoughts about weed that's another like 15 parts.
No, go there.
Well, for me,
she calls it a gateway, and I love her feelings around
it's
this.
a gateway, which is, funny, but in the grand scheme of things, I'm really for, once again, which I'm never going to back down on this, for Black and, people of color, Spanish people, Latin people, people in inner cities, weed. I know people who are still in jail for weed charges.
This is a whole crazy thing.
And that's ridiculous. And now it's a billion dollar
industry. Yeah.
Or the athlete right now who is grieving because her mom died and she smoked weed where it's legal, and then she's not allowed to participate in the Olympics.
So it's very...
This is racism.
Right. So weed has a lot of like systematic racism behind it as well.
Totally.
Where someone goes to jail,
non-violent. Yeah.
And they come out and they can't even get a weed license to operate it legally now.
Yeah.
Well, and they're felons as well. So they can't even probably do anything.
Right. They can't do a lot because they're felons, but it's because of weed.
Totally.
It's because of weed. And you can't even come out and like capitalize off of something that you were selling, let's say back in the 80s. And that's all you were selling. That's what you got caught with, was weed. So
why is this not changing though? Like, why are there still people imprisoned?
Because white supremacy. Why? That's how it works.
Prisons are privatized. They're not letting everybody out. I mean, they're like, this is big money. It's big money.
They're making money.
They partner
money.
with judges, with counties. I mean, if a prison goes up.
But how does it make sense?
Because of capitalism.
How does this make sense that we live in a place where it's now legal to consume in a large portions of places, and there are still people jailed? This doesn't make sense.
I'm going to be honest. If it was a white issue, then they would be fixing it very quickly.
Fixed yesterday.
But since it's a Black and brown issue, they don't care.
Totally.
So there's people who have literally lost years of their lives for a pound of weed when they were 19.
How many white people are jailed for selling weed?
Very few.
I mean, I definitely know a few, but
not as many.
Like, I'm sure there's a huge dissonance.
I think that in general, white people don't go to jail for a certain, like if you can get a lawyer, you can like take care of it. You just take care of it. Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah, you'll get your felony. Like my mom had a friend who got a felony for growing it in her backyard here in Oregon, but she did not go to jail. And I think eventually she was able to get that removed from her record.
Right. She probably got it expunged from her record. And it was just like, oh, well.
Like, and it's...
So, I mean, that's my thoughts on weed.
Money talks.
Okay. So aside from the politics of it, which is so valid and such a thing, what is your personal opinion about around consumption for yourself? Any type of psychedelic? Wine?
I can't let my mind get altered because I can't control.
Do you drink?
No, I had my first lick of alcohol. I probably when I was like young, like when I was at at a wedding, and my mom let me. I remember she let me have what was it called? Freaking
Mike's Hard.
Oh gosh, what kind? She let me have
a cooler.
Like,
Did you have a cooler? A wine cooler?
Kahlua and cream.
Ooh, yeah, girl. My mom used to have those too. Kahlua and cream.
Yeah.
And I got hemorrhoids because of the cream. Because of my stomach. And so I was like, well, never again. I literally got hemorrhoids the next day because I'm not, dairy doesn't work for me.
Oh, poor baby.
baby projector got hemorrhoids.
I was just gonna say #projector life.
Projector life.
Sensitive systems.
Oh.
So my mom had to like help me with my hemorrhoids. It was like 17 or 19. We were at a wedding at like one of her coworkers.
You're like, I am sensitive.
I didn't have a hangover. I had hemorrhoids. There was a big difference.
I didn't have a hangover. I had hemorrhoids.
Yeah.
This
So that was it. I was like, I am never.
I'm reliving it. Sorry.
I was like, I am never having alcohol again. And I never touched it again.
Well, no. Well, I guess your ass blew up. Oh, sorry. Wait, I'm crying.
And then the next time I touched it was maybe when I was like 32, and the extent that I go is like a hard cider or like one glass of cava. Like, I don't like the taste of alcohol, like at all.
It takes serious wherewithal to start liking the taste of alcohol.
Oh, beer? Disgusting.
I love beer.
Sorry, Bud Light over there. But
Miller Lite, come on.
Miller Lite, excuse me, Miller Lite, sorry.
Yeah, like I don't like the taste of alcohol. So it's just like, why even bother?
I do enjoy the flavor of wine.
Oh gosh.
I do. Some are disgusting to me, but I do enjoy the flavor of it. I used to actually, I used to create fun drink recipes for when I was a freelancer, and I loved making a fun, fancy drink. Amaretto, fun. Kahlua, fun. Vodka, fun.
Hangover.
Yeah, but get a hangover? No way. Can't handle that. So I maybe drank alcohol for 5 years. No, maybe a little bit longer than that. But now I'm very sensitive now. In my 30s, it's not the same. And like a hangover doesn't last a day. It lasts a week now. And so I'm like, well, I'm not even doing that. I'm not doing that. I can't be out I got to raise a kid. Like I still have to get up early. I can't sleep in. Like, so it's kind of, it would ruin me almost for a few days. So I don't really have alcohol anymore. But I used to, and it was fine. And I also don't really have coffee anymore, and I used to, and it was fine. But I've definitely, as I've been deconditioning, I've been getting more body sensitive and noticing but also certain foods. It's like, nope, can't have lettuce. That's coming out lettuce in half an hour. Like,
yeah,
yeah. But then I tried cannabis when I was later in life, and it was totally fine. You know what I mean? I've had mushrooms, and I was like, that's holy.
I've ate cannabis before, and that was the worst experience ever as well.
Oh, you'll be so stoned.
Yeah.
For so long.
No, I didn't know that. I didn't know that. And the people didn't know it there. It was like at it was a cannabis infused dinner, like a 5-course kind of meal thing. And
that's a lot of weed.
I know girls who own a cannabis company. Right. So it was like butter chicken and rice.
Yes.
And then they had like some other dishes, and I was, the food was delicious. And then I don't know how I got home. I knew that I had drove, and then I was hungry because I guess I had the munchies after that.
Oh, you were so funny today.
You're like, I just ate, but I'm still
snacky.
Hungry.
Yeah.
Right. I stopped at Checkers. I remember stopping at Checkers to get some French fries and a hamburger. And then I was eating that on the way home. And then I just remember driving, trying to focus on getting home because I knew something was wrong.
Oh, you should not have been driving. Yeah.
No, you should not have been driving.
Oh gosh. I literally, so that night I came back to my place.
Wait, I thought you didn't drive.
This was years ago. This was years ago.
Okay.
Yeah, this is years ago.
Okay. You used to drive.
Yeah. And so
now you have a chauffeur.
Well, not years ago. I would say 2017. So this is like 2017.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And so, and then I was walking in my building, and I literally had a dance party in the mirror for an hour. I remember that. Yeah. And then I was like just wobbly walking my dog. My dogs at the time, I had 2, were looking at me like, yo, what's wrong with her? And then Mom's having fun. I stayed in bed for like in and out for 3 days.
Oh yeah.
And then my friend was like, that's irresponsible. You could have died. I'm like, I know, but I'm alive.
But I'm alive. Okay. Well, when it comes to spiritual experiences, though, if you look into classic spiritual or even shamanic divination, there's usually some type of plant medicine associated with the spiritual act, such as ayahuasca. Ace, I know you're a little bit more familiar with that one. So it's interesting to me that if we look back with like anthropologists and in, different cultures, that there always is some type of relationship to a substance or a plant in some way to make the sort of the ceremony and the spiritual event like consecrated almost. Like it's, you know, it's like we either ingest the herb, we perhaps burn the herb or whatever. And it's like really a large part of a lot of spiritual practices. And yet when we bring it in just to like everyday reality, there's all these sort of almost taboos around it, which I just kind of think is interesting.
I think that's based on the legality, right? I mean, so many people just like,
but why did that happen?
Because
why did it become illegal?
I don't think the government wants us to have enlightened consciousness.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello.
So that you can forget that you hate your job.
Let's let them have booze, the downer, you know?
I mean, I think that that's like I think that they're like, oh, we control. Yeah. Like, oh, hey, here's what's good for industry. Here's some coffee, get you going. That'll just boost you through lunch. Maybe you get outside at lunchtime, smoke a cig. Everybody can talk to one another, smoke your cigarettes, come back in. Okay. 5:00, boom. Everybody's hyped up. Go have like a bunch of martinis, wind it down, and then let's just start it over tomorrow, you know? So
yeah.
You and your life, you can just numb out. Like we're just gonna pretend none of this is happening, and you don't really numb out on mushrooms. Like that's not what happens.
No, that's not it at all.
No, you tune in.
You're activated. Yeah, you tune in. Totally.
Yeah, you tune in. I made a pact a long time ago to not ever do any substances that would make me feel not myself. Like that would make me like not feel. I want to only do a substance that's going to like allow me to feel.
I want one that's going to help me think.
So that means like
I don't like getting drunk and that's not really alluring to me.
You know that movie Limitless with Bradley Cooper? That I would like, oh, give me that pill.
I have full access to my brain. Shit. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Right. To make me focus and produce and things like that. That's what I want. I don't want to be like spaced out stuff.
But then he was getting blackout because he took advantage of it because he went to extreme.
Well, he took advantage, but I just want like a half a pill, like a week or something. I don't know. Like,
I don't want any of that. I'm like, no, thank you. I only want to do things to like make me feel more connected to myself. Like, I don't want to, like, even marijuana makes me think far too much. Like I do not want to be thinking like that. I don't want to be.
I think on it,
and
I sit and I think.
I don't want to. I don't want.
I love that.
Yeah, I kept on when I had that experience. I kept on thinking somebody was turning the doorknob.
Paranoia.
And that wasn't happening.
Mild paranoia. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm watching Rachie scroll over there and do her thing. So what does Rachie say about psychedelics?
I was just thinking about this a lot because I've been watching this series called This Is Life with Lisa Ling. It's like a documentary series.
Oh yeah, I love that.
Oh, I love that series.
I love Lisa Ling. I'm just like
Lisa Ling.
crushing on her so hard this
week. What episode is that you're talking? Because those are older shows.
Yeah, they're all up on HBO, Hulu.
Yeah, they're
right
on. They may be on Hulu or HBO Max. I think one of them.
Yeah. Because she's about to have a new show on HBO Max, so I think they're all on. Yeah, they're all on HBO Max. But she does one where she goes to an ayahuasca, which is just basically to look into ayahuasca in Peru. So I was thinking a lot about psychedelics, and I guess my deepest truth about it is that they are something that exist, and this is any substance, to give us a window into who we could be if we grow our consciousness.
Oh, beautiful, Rachel.
So that's why they become really dangerous when you start to rely on them. So like I had a couple of really transformative mushroom experiences, but if I had just...
I'm shocked. This is not...
Really? We've never talked
I don't
about
know. This does not fit the vision I have of you, and I am excited. I don't even know. Oh, you did have a wild phase though. Yeah.
Yeah, she did.
She lived in like Europe or I don't even know. And she was like, I'm Raquel here. And sorry. Anyway.
No, this was right. This was smack dab in the middle of that. Like it kind of kicked, like I was a really anxious person, like really anxious. And I think taking mushrooms, it lifted a lot of that for me, or at the very least I could remember how to get back there, and it honestly cured a lot of my anxiety and depression. So
that's amazing.
Yeah, that's amazing.
I can see it. Like it actually just became legalized in Oregon as a treatment for depression, and I signed the thing for it and everything. Yeah, so it's coming. But Yeah. So it's just like, when we abuse alcohol, it's because we want to be the happy, fun, outgoing person. When we abuse psychedelics, it's because we want to be love conscious. And all of these things are 100% possible for us. They don't come as we have to work through them. We have to do the the deprogramming and the deconditioning and everything, but they're all possible. And so the way that I feel about myself at this point is that
totally, you want to be altered.
Pretty much any of those things. And caffeine, it's like we want to be energetic. Anytime I see myself kind of gravitating toward one of those things, I think, there's probably something that I could work on inside of myself to get myself a bit closer to that. And so at this point, I'm really, really sensitive to all of them. And the only thing that I find myself gravitating towards once in a while is a little bit of caffeine, just because I think my physical energy flow could be a bit better. But yeah, like we really can achieve all of those states naturally. And, it's like, I was watching people talk about ayahuasca and just DMT in general. And I was like, honestly, at this point, after a lot of years of like very intense, deep, painful spiritual work, I'm like, I actually kind of feel that way when I'm just connected to God. Like I truly feel that way. And so it's not all the time, but it's most of the time. So it is really possible, but I don't think I would have known what that feeling was like unless I had had that initial experience that was provided by the substance. And then one more thing, maybe you guys know the answer to this.
Yes.
Is someone in the Lisa Ling documentary with ayahuasca said that traditionally in Peru, people don't take their own ayahuasca. It was only the shaman who took the ayahuasca
and saw for them.
So that was interesting to me. And that's like a white supremacy, white people thing.
Yeah. Ayahuasca is big biz down there.
I would say the same thing, that when you say be about closer to God, I think that's what healing and therapy has done for me, is that I do feel closer to God because of like removing a lot of stuff. So it's just like, why do I need to have a plant to like get me there quicker?
Well, I mean, I think there's a bunch of roads.
I mean, my therapist never gave me a psychedelic experience, if you know what I mean. But I can only answer for myself, and that the reasons for me was, for some reason I was told I wasn't allowed, and it was bad and dangerous. And then I was bad if I participated in that, and that I would lose my mind and I would, lose myself, or if you're drunk, you're going to get raped. And, it's just all these like fears pumped into me that I think had some basis in reality, to be honest, because some of these things happen, but it was just positioned as this: if you do that, this is what happens. And you're bad essentially for that. And I have found that that's not true. Derek and I recently did shrooms together, because we had both had independent experiences separately, and we wanted to be like, oh my God, we're in love, let's come together. And we just took a tiny amount, and then went to this beautiful beach and weren't really high. And so we were like, oh, that's kind of disappointing. We made this fun little tea and like, we didn't really feel anything from it. So then we're like, well, let's just go get some food and let's go to this other beach that's a little bit better. And we're like laying on the blanket, and like, there's such a wide view that all of a sudden we are really seeing like how we have this like fisheye. And then I was like, maybe we are high, but
That's always like famous last words. People are like, I don't feel
but
anything.
We actually didn't,
like,
we didn't, it wasn't the experience that I had originally, but it was, right. So I think that's another thing. Like, people expect this like, stupid like high, and that's not, you're so like, aware. Like, it's not like you're like that wasn't, we literally had amazing conversations on a beach, and it was so romantic. It wasn't like, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just,
but also sometimes it is a little
but
bit like
but it can be like too, but it's that, I mean, that's not the only possibility.
The thing is, and I mean, I'm a firm believer that mushrooms in particular give you the experience that you need. I mean, it's like a living entity. Like, it's not, like
it is a living entity. Yes.
You don't just, like it's not like a thing I ever buy. Like, I'm like, oh, well, they'll find me. Like, when it's time for me to take them, they'll find me. They always do. And I always share them or give them, like, you just, it's like part of the shtick. You just give them away or whatever. But like, you have the experience that you need to have. on them. They're here to show you and to teach you.
Oh,
And
yeah.
so
Oh, yeah.
sometimes you might have a hard time, like it might be like an emotional thing. I've had times before when, I've done mushrooms probably.
I've done it twice.
3 dozen times or
I'm a
something, like
little
a lot
baby.
of mushrooms.
Oh.
And you can, I'm a psychonaut.
Are
Yeah,
they,
I'm like,
are they, do you have a mushroom dealer down there
no,
in
girl.
Florida? No.
No, we don't have that.
You guys need that? We just buy them online.
They're not legal here. And
You can't do that. Okay. Sorry.
well, like
Canada's
festivals. You go to festivals, right? I mean, that's probably where a lot of
given
it.
to me as gifts.
Totally.
Yeah.
Oh my God, but that's like unknown mushroom origin. Like, where'd you get those from, sir?
From underneath a cow patty. That's where they all come from.
Yeah.
If
They grow in shit. That's where I got
if
it.
they smell like shit, you can take them.
I've taken the synthetic ones too.
Oh, I've never done that.
What's that? I don't know what that is.
Oh, no.
It's a powder in a pill, and it was from Canada. So
Oh, well, so I've taken the powder in the pill, but it's actually ground mushrooms.
Yeah.
Like living mushrooms that somebody put in a capsule. I didn't know that there
Yeah.
was synthetic. That's interesting.
And you took that? Who are you even, Rachel?
Yeah.
I feel like I know you so well, but then you keep revealing these things that I don't know.
New things.
a friend had taken it already, and it was fine. So we just took it again.
Fun life.
Oh,
Fun life.
Wow, you guys are living on the edge.
I tend to. I think I was thinking when Rachel was talking about, just different experiences and things, but I definitely feel like I'm drinking caffeine. I like it. I want it. I'm gonna I feel robust. I feel formidable on caffeine.
AC, do you drink caffeine?
Yeah, I love coffee. I love good coffee.
I've heard defined roots can handle coffee no problem, but undefined roots get super addicted to it.
I can't though, and
Yeah, okay.
I have a
Yeah,
defined
okay.
one.
I'm undefined.
Oh, I can do coffee, but my problem is that I like coffee with things that I don't sit well with me, like cream, things like that. So
There's that fucking cream, AC. Yeah. Oh, hey.
yeah, cream is
Hey.
not good for me at all.
Yeah, I'm pretty creamy. I'm like cream and sugar. I put it in my Ninja blender every morning and just frappe the whole thing up. And then I'm like, oh, this is lovely.
Frappe. You
I do
have
have a fun life.
I drink decaf.
Is that fun? I'm like,
I like the ritual with Derek.
I drink decaf too.
it tastes good. Yeah.
I don't like decaf. That's like silly. Decaf is silly.
It tastes good.
No, because it tastes good. I like this taste. Yeah, I like the taste.
And for me, I like throughout the day, you guys hear me drinking over here. I don't really eat throughout the day.
Me
I'm
either.
drinking all day. I'm having coffee in the morning, green juices all day, sparkling water.
If I have bulletproof coffee in the morning, I am not hungry until later on in the evening.
Just the other week, Derek somebody had gave us like a housewarming present and got us like some local coffee. So cute. It wasn't decaf, didn't make this realization. Derek's making the coffee in the morning. By 1 o'clock, I'm like, I'm just feeling a little bit anxious today. He's like, oh, how come? I was like, I don't know. Nothing's going wrong. And for me, my anxiety hits in my chest. Then the next day, I'm like, wait, same thing. 1 o'clock. I'm like, I'm feeling anxious again. I'm going to take the week off. And then the week after, I'm looking at this bag and I was like, oh my God, you were giving me caffeine. And he was like, wow, that's real because you were anxious. Like, he's like, okay, like he got it.
Did you keep drinking that coffee?
That's exactly what happens to me.
Son of a bitch.
Oh, chest anxiety for me.
Oh no, caffeine will make you like fidgety and like, oh,
That's potent.
What's going on? I don't know what's happening.
You were having problems.
Oh, that's my favorite.
Oh, yeah.
Sign me up.
Starbucks is intense.
That makes.
Well, and did you ever drink Starbucks coffee?
Oh no, that makes me feel amazing.
Oh, that will. No, like
I feel
for
like
me,
Superwoman.
I'm like,
I love Starbucks
It makes me
coffee.
so crabby, and it makes me like so like I can't have it.
Oh, I have Starbucks coffee and my pee comes out smelling like Starbucks. I don't understand how it's so potent.
That's what happens to me when I drink LaCroix,
Real pee.
but it's like my vagina.
Okay.
It does, or like cereal or something. It's very strange.
With really intense flavoring.
I know it smells like Cheerios or something. It's very weird.
You said Cheerios?
Yeah, like it's
Yeah.
Like, do you ever had your pee smell like cereal before? It's so
Yeah.
strange.
No. I have not.
LaCroix?
Don't think it's like,
What's LaCroix?
oh, it's not my vagina.
Well,
Like,
that
what's
was
in here? Oh, like a sparkling water?
Sparkling water.
But there's the flavors.
No, their flavoring is not intense at all.
LaCroix. The X on the end?
La Croix.
LaCroix. Yeah, LaCroix.
La Croix. It's La Croix. Yes,
Yeah.
it's La Croix.
Or we say LaCroix.
LaCroix. Ew, you got it. It's LaCroix.
We say La Croix
Cars.
in here. Okay. It's LaCroix in America. Okay.
Well, I'm a LaCroix.
Vanessa,
Yes.
I gotta say one thing that happened to me recently that is not psychedelic. Well, it felt very psychedelic.
Okay.
And I think the only reason I could recognize it as such and did not get freaked out was because I have had all of these trips in my life.
Awareness of psychedelics. Okay.
So yeah, I've been doing the meditation. My kids are laughing at me because I'm walking around saying I am God, and with God, everything is possible.
You are. Mhm.
All day. And like, I'm also doing it as like in a joking way as well. I'm like, I'm God. But
It is funny.
it is. So like anything they ask me, they'll be like, yeah, they'll be like, well, can we do this? And I'll be like, yeah, I'm God. And with God, everything's possible. Sounds good. You know, like
I love
that's
this.
casual mantra.
I'm going to text you
but I
randomly,
was doing
Jasmine.
it-
I'm God. Sorry. I'm stop
and I will
interrupting.
say,
Tell your story.
You are. So I'm meditating 2 nights ago in my backyard. It's my new move, nighttime meditation out under the stars. It's beautiful. And I'm saying my mantra over and over again. I'm doing that for like 15 minutes. And then I'm just like focusing. And when I meditate, like I'm a pretty good meditator. Like I'll get like the like thought bubble, like going, you know, like the light. And then all of a sudden I'm done meditating. I look up at the stars and they all started moving around.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I'm not even kidding you, dude. Like they were moving around to the point where I had to be like, are my eyeballs okay? And they were like, shifting. And then they went whoop, like in a big swirl. And then there was like, I saw 2 shooting stars. It was crazy. And I would have never been able to believe my eyes. Like had I not been like on.
You bring up a good
but
point,
I wasn't on
though.
any drugs and I don't smoke weed ever.
This is cool because I can definitely get into like, I would call myself an intense meditator, and I will sometimes get into meditation and I'm locked for an hour and I'm gone and I'm sitting there not doing anything. But I'm doing stuff, you know what I mean? And it is like I go somewhere. And you're right. It is very reminiscent of the ways in which your thought patterns move when you're on some type of psychedelic. And so just from having that awareness, I would say that I have psychedelic experiences through meditation. Yeah.
Oh, they're the same.
They are.
Yeah.
It's just changing your brainwaves.
They're the same. Mm-hmm. And like, it's connecting to higher consciousness.
But yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like when people get like a runner's high. Yeah.
It's usually just hard nipples for me though.
Because you are God. And so am I.
Because I'm God.
Yeah. And anything's possible.
Yeah, no, seriously, like I love a runner's high though. There's nothing better than like anaerobic, whatever the hell it's called. You will be, I love it.
I actually don't like runner's high. I have to like come down. Like that's like, well, same thing like when I channel, I have to figure out something to shake it off.
I agree with that.
I brought like a hula hoop so I can like
move your hips, like move it on out of there. Yeah, that makes sense.
Can any of you imagine me running?
If you wanted to, but
That's cute.
But we know you don't.
I don't do that. I don't run.
You would need a couple bras on though, I think.
Oh God, it's the worst. Yeah, you guys see my fun little bra
I
situation
know.
today?
I've like never seen your arms before.
You know what? I'm on a body journey, and I recorded on the roof, and I was in a bra. Like I was like this, and I'm like, let's go for it. You got a problem with my body? That's on you. But for running, I am extremely fast. Always have been. I can sprint, and I feel like I could beat most people, even though like I'm a plus size person. I can haul ass. But if I gotta do a marathon, no fucking way. I can't even breathe. I'm wheezing. I got cotton mouth. I'm like, why are we doing this? I'm not experiencing joy. I also have a heart condition, so running is not really my thing. Yeah. But runner's high, this is not a thing to me. This doesn't exist in my world.
It's like mile 7. If you're running a half marathon,
who gets to mile 7?
Me. I like to run that far. Yeah.
That is so cool. That is so cool. That's generator energy to me.
I've only ever had it once, and it was because I was talking to someone while I ran about something that was interesting to me, and I just kind of forgot I was a human being.
Oh, I can't participate in that. Oh my gosh. Like, so you want to talk to me and I'm running? No, I do one thing.
Oh, I can talk and run.
Oh, left brain, left mind. I had friends like, let's go for a walk as kids and let's like talk. I'm like, we're walking. I can't talk to you. Like, what do you mean? So sometimes Derek and I will go for a walk and he's like, blah, 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 blah. And I will say, shrooms giving you what you need.
Mm-hmm.
But Derek and I did shrooms together on the beach. Most have ever heard him talk.
That's funny.
He had a lot to say.
He wouldn't shut up.
Really? Well, I gotta get me some of these.
And every time I would introduce a new idea, it's like he was just being me and all my flaws, and he would just swoop in, interrupt, and I couldn't get a word out.
Yeah.
And I was almost comical because I would stop, and then he's laughing because he's like, I don't know why I keep doing it. And then that's when we're like, maybe we are high.
I can't stop doing it. AC, I can always
box you. Okay.
Yeah, we'll talk about it.
Simple.
But what I was going to say is the thing that when people are like, oh my God, mushrooms, craziness. I had a bad trip. It was so scary and weird. They ate too many mushrooms.
Oh.
They ate too many mushrooms. The key to eating mushrooms is to not eat all the mushrooms at once. Like
you're going to give me the dealio.
Mathematical equation.
Brayden taught me this because you do need like a person, because I'm like, what am I doing? I'm a baby. And I don't like a regular mushroom. I wouldn't eat a mushroom, but I put it in a tea, and I had a nice tea, and it was just in there with my like chamomile tea, and it was lovely. It's lovely. Yeah.
Great.
It's not eating it. No way.
Should I like make sure I like walk the dog first
it's really not like that. Yeah.
You might feel like doing all kinds of stuff. I'm like a little, you're like, I'm going to go, you know how it feels. This is how I describe it, especially if you're not like sometimes you might have visuals or hallucinations, but that is very rare for me. That's not really how it goes.
That's not my experience.
I have an you have a lot of visuals?
No, that's what I mean. That's like people tell you it's like that. And that's not what I've experienced. No.
Yeah. I'm not, but also I'm not a very visual person in terms of like, even
I am.
I'm not really. So the key is you feel elevated. You feel the way I feel is like,
same. I had access to all parts of my brain. Like,
the happiest I've ever been. Like, but it's not like, and I'm like, oh, and I love you.
Oh yes. The love,
you're the best. And you know why you're the best? And I can like hug you and talk to you and things that I don't always feel comfortable doing or saying or ways of being. I can dance. I have so much fun. I go, and I always dance. Like, I'm like that's not like a big departure for me, but I am just a smile and a giggle and I'm just the happiest. And then it wears off. And then you're like, I'm done. It's over.
You, me,
we're in this together.
Let's listen to each other.
You're listening to Each Other, a human design centered podcast featuring an ensemble of energy types.